What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? How do I sound? How do I look? We good? We not choppy? Sound is good? Everybody made some money? Let's go. Rensler, what up? Sentient Adventures, what up? Samurai, Hiya! I love samurai, bro. Japanese is one of my favorite cultures, like, hands down. I love it. You gotta go if you've never been. Japan is amazing. So what's up, dudes? What's going on? Dark Knight, what up, kid? What's going on, everybody? We got it working on the first try this time. Woo! I'm getting good at this. Told y'all, it only take me like 2 months. What's good, man? What's up, EM? What's up, Brian? Michael, what's up? I figured out how to make it so it's not like stressing my computer out. So I think this is going to be really smooth, really good day to talk about this. I'm not a Bulls fan, I'm a Jordan fan. So the sad part is I'm actually a Knicks fan, which is I'm a Knicks fan and a Mets fan. So I don't get to win a lot. So every once in a while when I want to feel like a winner, I put on like a Jordan jersey or Kobe or something like that. Some winning legendary player franchise, But I hope everybody's been winning, right? What's up, my dude, MW? I hope everybody's been winning. I hope everybody's been feeling like Michael Jordan on these charts lately. Who would have thought, right? Last week I made a joke and I was like, I think Russia is buying this. It wasn't a joke, but I thought no one would take me seriously, so I called it a joke. But I'm like, I think Russia is buying this. I was like, why is Bitcoin acting so strangely? And I knew there was a structural change going on. Something happened. Something changed, something broke. And that's why we're sitting like this. I didn't think just Russia and Ukraine were enough to move the market, and they're not actually. But them buying the spot bid helped everyone else jump on board. So, you got articles going across CNBC that's saying stuff like Bitcoin's having his watershed moment. Maybe it's not maybe it is a safe haven play. And I truly don't think it's still a safe haven play, but what I do think is that when it comes to people's money, like that type of fear, like I can't get my money out the bank, then it's like, oh, all I need is the internet to make this thing work. And I kind of think that that's where we're at right now. And I don't know how far it'll take us, I'm not saying 52K next week, but right now we just got to bask in the glory. Stocks were dumping. We'll look at it in a second. Last time I looked, but we're just sitting up here just flagging, and it's a real good look. And us flagging and consolidating up at this level leads to altcoins making a move, right? So I think that we're in a good spot to eat for a little bit. If anybody sees this and they're Ukrainian, praying for you. Sorry you're going through that situation. It's crazy, but what we're doing here is we're here to make money so we can eat and have a living here. So praying for you guys, but right now we're going to talk about how to get money. Right? If the world goes to shit, it's better to have money, right? So let me give a couple more shout outs. Banga, MW. What rig am I running this on? I'll talk to you about that offline, banger. Give me a call after this is over. Um, and I will touch on the near tweet for sure. Um, so what I want to do today is I want to go over just the market in general. We'll go over the charts. We'll go over Bitcoin and ETH, of course. We'll talk about stocks, and I really want to dig into TradingLight a little bit. I feel like I pull this up a lot, and I don't really show you how it works. So that's one of my goals today. Yeah, totally possible, Michael. That's another thing that I want to talk about. I mentioned that on my little video update. If you guys got a chance to check it out, that Bitcoin dominance is at a resistance point where it looks like it's about to break out, and I think for that to happen, first we got to break this level right here. I mean, we're at local highs, so I don't really see us just keep having daily candles like we had yesterday, right? So I think that we need to do a little reparations to the profile, kind of fill in, build some support, and then Bitcoin make another huge move towards those highs. I'd rather see Bitcoin come from 42 up to 46 than to see it go straight from here to 46, because that just means it's much more likely to just dump, right? So we don't we're not looking for that right now. Right now we're looking to see what Bitcoin's doing first, and then we go from there, right? So, and I see some questions about open interest. I posted about Near earlier. Big fan of Near and FTM. Made a killing off of those two, a couple weeks ago, and then they kind of just died out. And I think they're gonna come back, and we'll talk about that. But I'll also kind of discuss open interest, because open interest is probably the trickiest metric that we don't really dig into enough. You can't just say open interest goes up, price is going up. It's all relative to where we are in the charts, right? So if you see open interest going up right here, this could be short open interest. It could be bad news. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, I guess I'll get into the charts, and then we'll come back and we'll dig into TradingLight. And then after we dig into TradingLight, I will go over any alts that you guys want to discuss. Try to keep it like a little bit shorter than the usual stream today. Long story short, I was up the charts yesterday because I'm like car shopping. So that's why I couldn't be on Twitter all day, because if anyone's ever bought a new car, you know what a pain in the ass it is. So let's dig into it. Thanks everybody for joining, and let's get right to it, guys. All right. So we made a couple of upgrades to the channel since I started. I actually finally realized that I should probably get a drawing tool so I could draw on the charts instead of just moving around my cursor. So you guys are in for a treat. So taking a look at where we are, right? On the daily, Bitcoin, we got these highs right here, which were these lows at the bottom of this structure over here. We're getting rejected up here, but I'm gonna, when we go lower time frame, I'm gonna show you why I don't think we're going much lower. But all in all, right here we got a pretty big gap in the profile up to here. So I totally think that after equities close, because they're not having a great day, down over 1%, that we could push towards these highs. Maybe, maybe Asia, um, maybe Asia session or London session overnight. But I think that we're gonna give a shot at these. But like I was saying before, excuse me, is that I'd rather see 42 before I see 46. And we'll go over that in a second. So drilling down a little bit, lower time frame, right? Looks like a higher time frame flag. It's kind of building up here. We're getting a lot of volume up here, which is something that people should note. This previously was a composite point of control where this broke down from. So that's why, I don't see us just blowing through this. And, that's my thoughts on that. I really don't think that this just pushes up to 47 or something like that. I think it's very unlikely. But just to give you guys a little background, since I wasn't on the charts yesterday, this is the move that I made. So, you guys all know, you guys who follow me on Twitter, I took this long, and right from this composite point of control at about 35.5, I didn't buy the bottom. That was a scary thing to do at the time, so I didn't do it. And then when we got up to this resistance area here, right around 38.5, I shorted. And I'm sorry, over here, around 36.8. I took a short, and I was actually on the phone with my buddy Banga, who's in the chat right now. And he tells me on the phone that he's like, this is no longer a short. So I get home, I walk my dog, and then we made this breakout move. And then I just, right here on this hour candle, I just hopped in. We hit 2 areas of resistance. On the second one we stalled, I cut it, right? Took the short here, ended up getting stopped out somewhere in here. Woke up in the morning the next day, and we were right here on this red candle, and we were holding above Vwap. But if you guys can see, this is the composite point of control. Right there at 38.2. That's where I longed, and that's where we blasted off from, right? You could see the strength in this high volume node. It was a massive area of what should have been resistance that turned support. Long. So I ended up taking a little profit here. We blew through it, added back, and took some more profit up here. So I'm still long right now, but my plan is to stay in this long. I don't care if we come down, this 2,000, because I cut a lot of it already. But I want to add back to a full position here to long to back up here. That's basically, in the easiest sense, what my plan is right now. If this goes from here, I don't really see myself adding up here. I'll just take what I got left and just cut it when we get up here. So that's my plan right now on BTC. It's not that hard to see where we are. This naked point of control, weekly VWAP, which is coming up to that level, there's going to be a bounce there. If we get there. We could just range sideways here and keep tapping these highs. But my thoughts are it keeps getting shut down. And at some point, maybe if we get up there again, I may even short it. But right now, I'm going with the upside move because I'm going with strength. And the shorts are not looking strong right now. So that's pretty much Bitcoin in a nutshell. Low time frame, you guys can see we're just trailing on value right now, right? Below VWAP, sitting on the point of control. If someone's out there and they're not in position, this is not where you make a trade. This is where you get chopped up and keep taking L's. So, you know, this right here, this looks marvelous, you know? This was resistance. Boom. This comes up here. Bounce, right? That's what I'm looking for. Oh, I forgot I got my new tools. Hold on. Show you guys exactly what I'm thinking. So, looking for something like this, right? Bounce. Maybe a little resistance here. Probably these daily lows or VWAP up to these highs, right? That's what I'm looking at. That would be the best trade for me right now. So other than that, you know, I think Bitcoin is kind of cake right now. If you're long, I will hold my long, and I'd expect a pretty strong bounce here. That's my thesis. If you keep rejecting up here, probably take some more profits. I definitely look to take profit up here. But what are the red lines, Nima? The red lines are called points of control. So the points of control are where the most volume for the day took place, right? This red line is a composite point of control, which means that everything on the screen, this is the highest volume that has been transacted for everything that I have on the screen right now. If I put enough days in here, you'll see it moves, right? So now it's moving down to this high volume node, right? And then we keep going out, and this high volume node, it just keeps moving. But this is a daily point of control. So this is where I caught my long, right? Moved above VWAP, straight blasted through the point of control, right? The point of control is supposed to represent resistance from underneath and support from above. Now, the way that it just blasted through here and this resistance, I knew it was going to make a strong move. So that's where we're at right now. This is kind of my new composite that I'm trading with because we made such a big move. Everything below is kind of becomes not irrelevant, but not as important, right? So that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. I'll go over ETH and let me go over stocks really quick, and then I'll do my little TradingLight 20-minute tutorial, and then we'll finish off with alt. Is the sound still good? Mic check, everything? You guys hearing me straight? Yeah, currently above daily currently above daily POC. You know, but now you have the VWAP above, and this is resistance, right? Hold on 1 second, guys. we back. So anyway, this is where we are right now. I'll get into the questions. That's pretty bullish. Nima Vlad, the profiles make themselves. So I don't make these. This is actual volume that's happening. Like I said, I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago. I love these lines because I don't make them. They make themselves, right? This is the best support resistance lines you're going to get, hands down, right? They make themselves. I don't do this. I don't pick. I don't choose. The buyers and the sellers make these lines. So that's how they form. So let's take a look at ETH. Right, similar situation. You can see ETH here, kind of sellers front ran this POC right here around 3,050, right? So if I was going to get long ETH, and when I tell you guys, like, the composite POC and the points of control, like the same exact place where I long Bitcoin, you could have long ETH right here at 26, right? Same situation, largest volume node, bam, like it just does it by itself. You know what I mean? It's, if something's supposed to be the strongest resistance level and it breaks above, that's a trade, right? So with ETH, obviously you're watching this level at 3,050, and the same situation as Bitcoin, might be able to push to these highs before I think you get some type of rejection. So between 32 and 32.50, that looks like a level where I would be taking some off the table. Lower time frame, right? Similar situation. You got right around 28.25. You have the weekly VWAP coming up to the top of this structure, right? That would be where I would look to long. Full disclaimer, obviously this can break down below weekly VWAP, but I don't see a strong bounce happening there. Maybe it doesn't carry all the way to the highs, but I think it makes a strong bounce there. So that's where I am with ETH. Right here around this 28.25 area. This high volume node around 27. And then the comp POC around 26.25, 26.30. Right? So we could just be high time frame flagging up here before another move. That's totally possible. Seeing the strength in the market right now, totally possible. But like I said, I'm long. I'm holding it. If it just goes from here, whatever. If you cut already, this is where I would be. Right? Same thing with Bitcoin. This is ETH, but pretty much the same chart, right? Taking a look at equities. Making a big move down today. Down 1.5%, right? Looking for this 42.50, 42.60 area to support. The war is escalating right now. So if you guys saw what I posted on Twitter earlier about the convoy that's 40 miles long of people rolling up to Ukraine right now, I could see why the market is getting scared. But all in all, if you look, I think if you pull it up right here, oh, it's gone now. But basically, they were, the biggest banks and the biggest analysts who make the calls are saying remain overweight equities. They might bounce around, but just remain overweight. Like, especially if you're a long-term holder, right? So, and most people are long-term holders of equities. Most people aren't day trading equities. So, I think the worst that happens is we come down here, retrace these lows. And does that mean Bitcoin goes all the way back to the lows? Definitely not. Not the way it's trading right now. I don't think it's possible. So, equities are doing what they're doing. I think this is one of the times where you have to turn off the equity chart and just follow what you see in front of you when it comes to crypto, right? That's how everyone did it all throughout 2021, and I think that's how you should be doing it right now, because you have this Ukraine-Russia bid thing, and it's real. It's not bullshit. I mean, look at equities right now, and look, Bitcoin's still pushing up towards the highs. So you can take equities out of your analysis right now for temporarily, right? Let's look at the profile. So I posted earlier that this looks ugly. So for people who aren't familiar with the market profile, these are called single prints. This is an area where price moved through so quickly that sellers didn't even get a chance to put their sell orders in before price swept through it, right? That is known as a failed auction. That is known as a failed auction. A failed auction means that price is very likely to come back and revisit that area to repair the profile. This profile is a living, breathing thing, and when this happens, you better believe it might take a day, it might take a week, but we come back here 100%. Not 100%, sorry. That's very high. 66.6%, I say. But the market is looking very strong. Hanging around value, so this is my thoughts when I'm looking at the profile, right? This area here, that was very ugly, but that's where I want to get long. That is within that area, you're going to catch a strong bounce somewhere. Between here and here. That's what I'm looking at. I want to get filled in here for back to these highs, right? Here, back up to there. So, that's my thoughts on the profile right now. And then I guess lastly, we could just get into TradingLight and talk about how to catch these trades and how to monitor your trade and watch it to see if it's gonna go, right? How to spot spoofers and how to see if orders are real. So here we are. Let's go over the anatomy of this whole thing, okay? Right now, okay, this is our breakout point. What you're seeing here, these are high levels of sell orders, right? Some real, some fake. This was fake. These orders are put here to scare you. They're put here for you to cut your trade early. I made a post on Twitter the other day. I said if the market could only spot spoofing, that we would have went a lot higher last year, right? So let's look at how this works. Here we are when we were going up to 40K. Over when we were struggling to break 4,500, right? That level. So you can see when we spiked up above this level, this sell wall was thrown up, right? But we never got to test and see if this is real liquidity. Okay? Same thing here. Spiked up here, sell wall thrown up. Right? You can see here how they pull the orders. See how the orders disappear before we touch them? Right? But this sell wall remained. So what did people do? They dumped. Didn't even touch it to see if it was real. And then we dumped back down to, this 37 area. Now let me show you what real liquidity looks like. These are the lows. Same situation. We spike down, we come up, then the buy wall is thrown up. Now, we never really touched this one down here, but this one here, we were tapping that liquidity. That's when I got long, because we were digging in here, and as people were, hitting the bid and taking some of this liquidity, they were adding more. This is on FTX. Every exchange is different, but I'm sure it's a similar situation across them all, right? Another thing to show you guys is down here when we were dumping to these lows. One thing I noticed was as we were dumping to these lows, and I saw a bunch of big buy orders coming in, but we just kept going lower. This is open interest, by the way. Sorry. The open interest just kept getting lower, lower, and lower, and lower, right? So we said that we would discuss open interest a little bit. If you're seeing open interest go down, I'm sorry. If you're seeing open interest go down as we're dumping, and you're seeing buy orders come in over here, those are just people closing their shorts or taking profits on their shorts, right? You didn't see open interest pick up really until over here for this move, right? When open interest picks up on the move up, it's probably a sign of continuation. When you're seeing buying and prices dumping, then it's just, people closing out their shorts. Now at the highs, when you're seeing open interest, let's take a look at the open interest right now. Only annoying thing about TradingLight is on TradingView when you scroll over, you just have that button and it brings you back. They don't have that button. They need to work on that button, right? So if you take a look at open interest now, or right here for this spike yesterday, you could see we had the huge spike, we had the huge move up, and then as we were still going up, open interest is going down. People were closing out. But now, even as we're going sideways, we're still kind of picking up in open interest, even though it's taking a dip down right now. So, but the thing to keep in mind about open interest going up at the highs is it can be people opening new shorts and not new longs. Open interest is a net number. It's not longs, and shorts. On some platforms you could get net shorts and net longs, but not on here. I am actually going to be switching back to XO desktop So you guys are gonna be seeing me make some changes there. A lot of you guys are familiar with XO already anyway, so it won't be teaching you anything. But I just decided to make the move because I'm not really getting what I need from Quant Tower when it comes to that. I used to think it was enough, but now the market's moving a little faster, and I want that extra info, so I'm gonna be adding that back. But just going over this a little bit more, right? I basically have this set to where I only want to see big orders. I only want to see orders of Bitcoin that are over 5 Bitcoin, and if something is over 20, I get a big alert sound that goes off, and then I usually come over, and that's usually a sign to make a trade. Now this is high time frame TradingLight, right? Let's go into low time frame TradingLight. And if you guys know, I talk about this rolling Vwap all the time, and how good of a support line it usually represents. And you could see here, we came right to it, didn't touch it, but right to it, right above the daily lows, and we're bouncing, right? We're bouncing, and this big red line here is the point of control, just as you see on TradingView. You see the huge move, getting the big move over the point of control, and you just got to think about what point of control represents, right? Think about what the word point of control represents. It represents being in control. It's a fight. It's an area where there's a fight taking place, and one side is the victor. Right now, it's the buy side, right? Think about it. We're fighting over control. Price starts going up, the buyers won. You're fighting over the point of control. Price starts going down, the sellers won. Right? Now let's dig in here and really go into what we're looking at. So as you guys know, I don't really use like 5-minute candles. You can, whatever. If I get in on this wick, or if I get in at the very bottom of this trade, me personally, it doesn't matter, because I'm not a super short time frame scalper. I don't scalp for 5 minutes. My average scalp trade is over an hour. I'm trying to get 2 positive hour candles in a row, at least. So I don't really care about looking at a 5-minute chart. The lower the time frame chart you look at, the more likely you are to get shaken out of your trade. You see a big candle like this, and you're like, okay, I'm long, and then, and then you're out of your trade. So I like to keep it a little bit more high time frame when I'm looking at things, because I like the bigger picture a little bit. So right now what we're looking at is the book. Some orders are fake, some orders are real. The closer the orders are to price, the more likely they are to be trying to get filled. The further something is away, the more likely it is to be a spoof, right? So like this 44,500 up here, I guarantee if price starts moving up there, people are throwing up orders there now. But I guarantee the closer price gets up here, you're going to see orders start to get pulled, right? So you see people throwing up those orders. There was 500 Bitcoin, now it's 300 again. It's spoofing. It's to make you be like, oh God, no, there's a lot of sellers up there. It's usually fake, right? So you watch the reaction to these levels as price moves. What you will see is, as price is moving up, you're going to see buyers step in to support it, right? And you're going to have these orders close to price above, but each one of these is a $25 increments. So as we get closer, you'll see they'll start pulling. And then we get a little closer, they'll start pulling. And then they'll move their orders up here. And they'll move their orders up here. And they'll move their orders up here. Right? Now when price is bumping up there and it's actually taking that liquidity, right? You see how those sellers jumped out of the way because price is still moving up and they move their orders up here. That's when you hold your trade. Look, boom. See how they move their orders up? That's a good trade. Hold it. Let it go. Boom. You hit the next $25. They move it up again. Now, when you want to think about, okay, are we going to get sent back, is where price is really hitting into this. It's soaking up this liquidity. You'll see the amount of Bitcoin sitting there go down, or people will add there, right? So as of right now, everything is phony until it's touched. That's how you got to look at a trade when you're looking at these books. Until it's touched, it's fake. Now you see price pulling back, you see the sellers get a little bit more aggressive, right? So that's TradingLight, right? Another thing is this is very similar to the profile that we have on TradingView, except it's a delta profile. So these green areas right here, dominated by buyers. It's pretty much all being dominated by buyers. Now, when it becomes a sell type situation is when up high, dominated by buyers, point of control, price goes below, then the area below is dominated by sellers. That is when you should probably reverse your trade or take a sell order. But yeah, that's TradingLight. Anybody got any questions about TradingLight before we go into doing the other things like altcoins? Am I still live? Are we still good? Do I put preference over the rolling VWAP? I actually do, Michael. I do put preference over the rolling VWAP compared to a daily because when it comes to the daily, the daily is basically a developing area similar to a point of control as it develops out through the day. The rolling VWAP has been developing for days. It never stops, right? So I would rather see a bounce, take a trade off a bounce of this than a trade off of the bounce of the TradingView VWAP. Because, for instance, right, Asia session, the VWAP is just starting. It's not really a strong point of anything. It doesn't represent anything until the day develops, right? So a VWAP during Asia session is useless compared to a VWAP during New York session because it's had half the day to develop through trading volume, right? Now this has been developing since, the beginning. It never stops. So, I mean, just look here at the move when we were able to break back above this rolling VWAP. Look at the increased volume. And it's not a coincidence that happened, right? So what I do sometimes is if this is the buy, I'll hold my buy, right? Maybe I give a little bit back. But then I wait for the bounce, add, put my stop here, and then let it go. If it don't go, close out, look for my short, or even just reverse it sometimes. So for instance, if this rolling VWAP was to come above this point of control and it breaks below both of those, that would be a short. I'm not keen on shorting right now because Bitcoin is just in beast mode. It is in beast mode. Yeah, Renzo, I'll definitely go over exo charts next time. I didn't want this stream to be too crazy, but when I get that back, we'll dig deep. Thing about exo charts is a lot of setup. You know, it takes me like a week to get all my settings right. So we'll dig into that next time. So I guess I'm done with that. If you guys don't have any questions about TradingLight, we'll go over some charts, and then we'll get back to trading for the rest of the day, guys. What do you wanna look at? Rolling VWAP is dynamic VWAP. Exactly. What do we want to talk about? What is on people's minds? No alts? Everybody's happy with their Bitcoin trades and they're straight? We good to go? Two that I'm definitely going to go over are FTM and NEAR. How about this? I'll do FTM, NEAR, Solana, AVAX, and then we'll cut it. All right? So let's do that. No, JP, there's no orders. You can't get orders on TradingView. They don't have plugins to the exchanges as TradingLight does. If it was, I wouldn't really. If they did have it, I wouldn't really rely on it, to be honest, because TradingView messes up on the simple things sometimes. So I wouldn't depend on that. So, all right, let's go with FTM. Holy shit! NEAR is up 20%. See, this is how much I love you guys. I miss trades like that because I do this for you. But whatever. I saw it was coming. I saw the huge OI increase, but whatever. I made a lot this past week. It's been fantastic. So missing an altcoin trade ain't gonna hurt me one bit. All right, let's look at NEAR. Woo! That's how you do it. So let's look at it, right? High time frame, same thing as every other chart that I've showed you guys. Break above the comp POC at $9 and it never looked back. Right here, this high volume node. Let's go shorter time frame, right? So boom, you see the move over the VWAP, the comp POC becoming support, and out of here, this high volume node holding above VWAP and moving up here, right? So this is the type of trade you just let it run. Now, if it was to break back below this 1143, the daily POC, I would cut some, or I'm not a fan of shorting alts. I'm not. I don't like to do it. I do it at the extremes, like when Bitcoin was at 69 and when Solana was at 240. Those are the type of shorts that I like to take. But shorting NEAR at $11 when it came from 8 or 9, that's not. I don't want to do that, because especially when something where OI is up 50% in a day. It's not looking like it's short interest, guys. It's not. So Near higher time frame, you're right here at pretty much at resistance, right? So I would look here at like 1260 if I was long already. If this keeps going, this would be an area I want to TP maybe. Um, then beyond that, these highs and up here. But we go level to level, right? Like Trader SZ, level to level. So in terms of, you know, getting long, this would be it. That would be the best support possible. But you have this point of control here. You have this point of control, which is matching up with the weekly VWAP, which is a similar situation with what I was telling you guys about Bitcoin, right? So that's near. Do near. We'll do FTM. FTM, similar situation. You had a rejection here at this naked point of control. You know, long in at 170 would have been lovely. Long and down here would have been even better. But see what I mean about these bottoms? Like, you let your bottom form, move above the point of control, above VWAP. Those trades, you let those trades run. It's not a trade you cut like in an hour or two. And that's the point that I was trying to get across about Bitcoin. It's just like, people are like, oh yeah, well, it's temporary, 30K. And I'm like, yeah, right. No way. Did you guys see the wick on that daily? Like, when are we going to go back there again? Even if the stock market goes back to the lows. Look, the stock market is almost down 2% today. Feeling no effects. Nothing. We are doing our own thing right now, kid. So, you know, weekly VWAP, 170, you know, and then maybe these lows. But put it this way, a break below the comp POC, I'm waiting. Like, I don't even want to buy it yet because I feel like it's going much lower. So you got these highs for FTM. You know, you go a little bit higher. You know, I think with FTM you gotta aim for $2. If you're long from down here, you gotta aim for $2 because that was the problem area last time. Yeah, CRV, similar setup. I'm telling you, like, someone asked me last time in the stream, they were like, what would be your ideal setup? And my ideal setup is a push off of a low on high volume at a previous area of support. Right here, AVAX. Previous area of support. High volume down at the lows. Right? Naked point of control, that was your long. Right? Here, you know, you have, when it comes to, look, you can always try to pick your ideal point where you want to get long. Set your bids, do whatever, right? But ideally, in a real life scenario, you're doing this shit in real time, right? When you're doing it in real time, you just got to look at the areas where the business was done before. Right? So let's go a little bit lower time frame on AVAX. Point of control there, $80. Now we're at 87. It's pushing. It's making a move, right? You see how the nodes stand out? 81. 84. Right here, this high volume node where it just caught the bounce on the daily. Right? Now this is resistance, 87. All right, and then 91. Right there. 94. Like, this is how you should be trading. This is how you should be making your moves. And lower time frame, you know, you don't catch the bottom, whatever, you want to scalp. This is it. From here to here, take profit. VWAP, high volume node. From here to here, take profit. Like, this is how you got to start looking at the profile. Like, you got to read, like, I read this thing like I'm in the Matrix. I forgot if it's the red or the blue pill, but whichever one puts you in the Matrix, that's the one that I took. It's, it just becomes second nature, right? So, that's where we're at right now. I'll do Solana, and then we'll answer some questions, and we'll cut it. All right, Solana. Same thing, right? So here we go with Solana. Break above the comp PLC. You let it ride, right? $90 here. You see this, like, you can see, even on high time frames, how the levels stand out, right? Right there, right there. That is that, right? It's very simple. Like I told you guys, like, the point of me doing this is so you can do it. Like, we shouldn't even have to talk about levels in like a month or two. We shouldn't even have to bring up alts because we already know what to do. We got this. Like, this is how the game is played. This is what everyone is looking at. Everyone has their support resistance lines drawn here. You know, I'm sure this level is some fib retracement level if you look at it. You know, it's it does the damn thing by itself, right? So once you guys, we keep doing this, we keep having these conversations, and like in the end it's just gonna be a chat, bro. It's just gonna be us just talking about trades we made and how much money we were able to lock in, right? So, you know, Solana, strong move off the bottom. We're up, 20, almost 30 something percent, right? Now, the thing with alts right now, so obviously you're watching 100, you'd be watching these highs, you'd be watching 110. Now, those could be take profits levels, those can be short levels. It's whatever you want to do, right? But the only thing with alts for me right now is when it comes to alts and Bitcoin making, the big move that it made back up, the question is, do alts start pushing back to like last year's levels, or is this like all we're gonna get here? That's one of my concerns right now with alts, and that's why I'm quick to take profits in them, because I'm not sure you see Solana at 150. I don't. 200. Bitcoin would have to be back at like 60K, I would think. There's a lot more caution. There's a lot less people gambling on it. You know what I mean? People are taking very thoughtful, constructive bets with less leverage. So the price movements aren't going to be as ridiculous. But I mean, 30% off the lows, like that's amazing, right? That's a good move. That's a whole year of an amazing year for the S&P 500 in about 5 days. So there's opportunities, but this isn't hold, for $200 again on Solana, or hold for $3 on FTM. It's everything's a trade. Everything's a trade. The stock market is a trade. And the stock market is never a trade. It's a hold for 10, 20 years, right? So that's my thoughts right now. Answer some last minute questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining. It's always sweet. Like, if it's 5 of you or if it's 100 of you, like, thanks, man. I hope I help you guys out. Like, I really love doing this. It's like therapy for me. I love helping people. It's my jam. All right. So Nemo, we looked at Sol. Banga, what do you mean by TR charts? Oh, sorry, we didn't look at Luna. I'll take a look at. Did I look at Luna? Oh, we didn't. Yeah. So Luna is awesome because, to me, it's like the underdog, man. It was so beaten down. People were calling for like $20 on it. And I just knew it was a matter of time before it just blew people's faces off. And that's what it's doing right now. Like, I was an idiot and I got out like in the 60s or the 70s. But I mean, look, it's like, it's almost, it's, price wise, it's AVAX numbers, like from $50. Same play, composite point of control, lift off. But the difference with Luna, and the reason why it had such a big move up, was because it had such a quick, strong move down. Right? You don't build any support on the way down. I mean, you don't build any support on the way up, you doom. You don't build any support on the way down, you pump. Like, that's just how it goes. So Luna's already approaching all-time high territory. If I was long this right now, I wouldn't touch it. This looks like $100 to me. And if it gets to $100, it's probably a lot more than $100. In terms of getting long, if you're not, areas that stand out to me, this area here, right? This area, that would be an area where I would want to get involved. You could see these areas here, these bald areas. I wouldn't try to make a play in here. You want to see it hit an area of support. So basically like $75 looks good, but I don't think it gets down there. So above that, you have this point of control right here, and the weekly VWAP right around 85. I think that's more likely than getting down here. I don't think it gets down there. Unless Bitcoin dooms, but we go with what we got. Mike, when it comes to using the POC, is it better to be zoomed out on a weekly or close up? It depends on what you're trading, right? A comp POC on a weekly, I wouldn't recommend it. It doesn't look, because you got to think about how far some of these coins have come, right? So you look at it on a weekly, and it's like this, right? You see huge major levels, 47 and a half, 43. Like, you see these levels, but there's so much more in between, and we're not trading like once or twice a year, right? We're trying to trade like once a day or more than once a day. So, me personally, I start with the daily, the 4 hour, and go down from there. And then obviously I have my short term low time frame composite like this right here. 3 days. I think these 3 days are the most relevant right now because I'm not looking at the lows because I don't think we're going there. So why would I look at that? That's not important to me. So I look at what I have in my immediate vicinity for trading on a daily basis, right? So now as this builds out and we build a range, either if it's higher or just within here, I would I'd add more days, but stay focused on the immediate vicinity in terms of price, right? So that's that. Never mind. Yeah. Mike, I think I answered your question about previous days POCs. Yeah, definitely. Right? Right here. 38.4. Right here. 39. But when it comes to the previous day POCs, it's the naked ones that matter more. The ones that haven't been touched, the areas that haven't been interacted with, that's where people put orders. Not here so much. Here. No, I don't just use TradingLight for BTC. I use it for everything. The reason that I didn't want to go over alts through TradingLight is it's kind of repetitive, right? Once you know what to do, you just change the coin and go. Smooth as butter. Where are we at? Yo, Banger, stop telling everybody in the chat how much money you make, kid. They don't care. So, going through the chat, I think I covered everything. Nima Vlad. Hey, man, hit me in the DMs. Seems like you got a lot of questions. I'll help you out. Yeah, Mike, you're right. XO does do the net long, net shorts. And that's why I'm going to have my XO back real soon. Nick, if you go through an old video, you could see how I got the TradingLight set up. I like did a whole walkthrough. If you hit me in my DMs on Twitter, I'll find the exact video for you. Near Luna. Ethan, you said inside bar setups. Yeah, I think I touched on that before when I was going through how the profile works. So, I think the answer is yes. Cantor and Clark, you just gonna come in here? LOL. That's it. LOL. All right. Anyway, the session volume profile indicator is it's volume profile session volume, VPSV, right? And the one on the right is VPVR, volume profile visible range. Rensler, you're the man. Calm and precise is the only way I know how to be. Sometimes I'm too calm. Everybody's freaking out about the markets, and your other favorite traders are like just shit posting because they don't know what to do. I'm making calculated moves over here very calmly as I sip my green tea. Nima Vlad, they only show a naked point of control if it's naked. If it's not naked, then it won't show it. This is naked because it hasn't been touched. This is not naked because it got touched. So anyway, guys, who's better than you? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys got something out of this. You always know, hit me in the comments. Hit me in the DMs or the comments. I really get back to you, always. I love the discourse, even when you disagree with me, because then I want to prove you wrong later when you're wrong. I'm gonna point it out. Thanks for joining. I guess we'll wrap it up there. I'll see you guys on the charts. Like, subscribe if you're new. My name's Banks. I love doing this. I think I'm pretty good at it. My goal is to teach you guys how to do this for yourself, because I don't want to get blamed for making bad calls. If I make a bad call, trust me, I'm losing money on it. I'm not playing Twitter fingers and hitting buttons and sitting on the couch watching Netflix while I'm not putting money at risk. So, thanks for joining. You guys are awesome, man. I love you. I'll see you on the Twitter, on the CT. All right? Catch you. Peace.